to health and safety and risk assessment. And knowing your plans for moving north and possibly re-establishing yourself in the area, I think there's one or two things that you need to be aware of. And I'd like to offer you this, this tale, this sanitary warning of things to consider if indeed you establish yourself in the area. Right. So, there's a famous seaside place called Blackpool.
This is the thing
that's noted for fresh air and fun. And Mr. and Mrs. Ramsbottom went there with Albert, their son. A fine young lad was young Albert, all dressed in his best, quite a swell. He'd a stick with an horse's head handle. The finest that Woolworth could sell. They didn't think much to the ocean. The waves were all piddly and small. There were no wrecks and nobody drowned. In fact, nothing to laugh at all. So, seeking for further amusement, they paid and went into the zoo, where they'd lions and tigers and camels, and cold ale and sandwiches too. Ooh. There was one great big lion called Wallace, whose nose was all covered in scars. He lay in a somnolent posture, with his face up tight to the bars. Now Albert had heard about lions, how they were ferocious and wild. To see a lion laying so peaceful just didn't seem right to the child. So straightway the brave little fella, not showing a morsel of fear, took his stick with the horse's head handle and stuck it in Wallace's ear. You could see that the lion didn't like it. But giving a kind of a roll, he pulled Albert into the cage with him and swallowed the little lad. Oh, poor Albert. Now, Mother had seen the occurrence, and not knowing what to do next, she hollered, "Yon lion's at Albert!" And Father said, "Yeah, I'm vexed." They complained to the animal keeper, who said, "Why, what a nasty mishap. Are you sure its boy's been eaten?" Pa said, "I'm sure. There's his cap." The manager had to be sent for. He came and he said, "What's to do?" Ma said, "Yon lion's at Albert, and him in his Sunday best too." Father said, "Right's right, young fella. I think it's a shame and a sin to have our son hit by a lion, and after we paid to come in." The manager wanted no trouble. He took out his purse right away, saying, "How much to settle the matter?" And Pa said, "Well, what do you normally pay?" But Mother had turned a bit awkward when she saw where our Albert had gone. She said, "No, someone's got to be summoned." So that was decided upon. And off they went to the police station in front of magistrate chap. They told what had happened to Albert and proved it by showing his cap. The magistrate gave his opinion that no one was really to blame, and he said that he'd hoped the Ramsbottoms would have further sons to their name. That Mother got proper blazing. "And thank you, sir, kindly," she said. "What, spend all our lives having children to feed ruddy lions? Not me." So please remember that. And Bev, the lad would have liked to have had these.
That is top drawer. Top drawer.
I once
Top drawer.
an entire poem reading to class.
Well done.
And they
Top
knew it
drawer.
by heart, that hot